This PowerPoint will review the hazards of arsenic in the workplace. This training will cover health hazards of arsenic, how you are exposed to arsenic, how to protect yourself from arsenic, the use of respirators, and medical surveillance. You may have heard about people being murdered by poisoning their food or drink with arsenic. Arsenic was formerly used as rat poison and was easy to obtain. It had no taste and could be added to food without the victim's knowledge. Heavy exposure to arsenic, actual arsenic poisoning, will cause other symptoms besides the ones listed on this slide, including stomach pain and cramps, nausea and vomiting, damage to blood and blood vessels, and abnormal heart rhythm and eventually death. At lower levels, it can cause lung cancer if inhaled as a dust over many years. Dust containing arsenic can cause skin irritation and other skin problems. Protective gloves and clothing must be worn when handling products containing arsenic. If arsenic trichloride is handled, impervious gloves and protective clothing must be provided. How can arsenic get in your body? 1. By inhaling arsenic fumes using a torch, by inhaling dust from sawing arsenic-treated lumber or dust from contaminated soil, or another way, by swallowing arsenic dust that got on your hands while eating, drinking, or smoking. In electronic plants, workers can be exposed to arsenic fume during the manufacturing process. Most processes in this industry are well now controlled, but occasionally these controls can malfunction. Long exposure to arsenic dust on the skin will cause redness and irritation. One form of arsenic, arsenic trichloride, can be absorbed through the skin. Arsenic can be found in lead used to make batteries, in old orchard soil, in treated lumber, and in scrap metal. Arsenic fumes are generated when antimonial lead posts and connectors are burned. Hand burning for extended periods of time can result in exposures over the permissible exposure limit. Arsenic fumes are generated from molten alloys, and they quickly form arsenic oxides on contact with the air. Upon cooling, they form solid arsenic oxide dust. All the arsenic oxides undergo sublimation, meaning they go from a solid to a gas and not a liquid form. The best known example of sublimation is carbon dioxide, or better known as dry ice. The arsenic oxides evaporate when reheated above 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This recycles old arsenic along with new arsenic into the breathing zone. Arsenic oxide can be identified by sight. Arsenic trioxide is white and arsenic pentoxide is tan. To prevent the buildup of arsenic, clean the white powder from surfaces, tools, and torches twice per day, at mid-shift and at the end of the day, so your torch is clean for the start of the next day as well. Arsenic exposure that exceeds OSHA's limit of 10 micrograms per cubic meter occurs in the following activities or locations when ventilations or a monkey arm is not in use: forklift battery assembly burning, mining battery assembly burning, and any time a torch is used to melt lead. OSHA has set a level for the air that can't be legally exceeded. The OSHA permissible exposure limit is 10 micrograms per cubic meter, and the OSHA action level is 5 micrograms per cubic meter. This level triggers personal protective equipment and air testing. It's the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of powder dispersed in an area the size of a high school football stadium. Using a torch to melt lead evaporates the arsenic, producing surprisingly high levels of arsenic in the air. Hand burning for an 8-hour day results in arsenic and lead exposures that are roughly equal. Testing is done quarterly if you exceed the permissible exposure limit, twice a year if you exceed the action level, and annually if you are below the action level. We have put the following controls in place to reduce the amount of arsenic you are exposed to. Respirators are required at all times while burning or near someone burning. Gloves are required at all times while burning. Stations with monkey arm ventilation are required to keep the monkey arm within 8 inches of the torch when burning lead. And the same hygiene rules go for arsenic as they go for lead. Wash hands and vacuum before breaks and lunch. Shower before leaving work, and never take work clothes home. What medical monitoring is needed? Anyone who is exposed to arsenic above the action level 30 days or more in 1 year's time must be offered a medical exam. The medical exam includes a chest x-ray and nasal and skin examination. We offer burners a medical exam at least once a year regardless of exposure level. We will provide additional medical exams if you develop any signs or symptoms associated with arsenic. We will provide the doctor information on your arsenic exposure and respirator. We will get the doctor's written opinion on the results of the exam and any further steps recommended to protect you, and you will get a copy of the doctor's report. Medical and air sampling records. You have the right to see any of your medical records related to arsenic, and you also have the right to see results of any air sampling for arsenic that we have done. The OSHA arsenic regulation contains much more information and detail. The points we have covered here are required in this standard, and a copy of this standard is available. Just see someone in the HSE office.